Good morning, students. So I shall continue with the pass by reference method. Okay, we have already seen the pass by value. Okay, so under that we have seen that yesterday's program that in pass by value the call function it creates a copy of the pass object, right? So it creates a copy of the pass object here. So this is like your reference variable. Okay, so object is the is a variable, right? So it creates a copy of the pass object. Okay, so meaning that another object gets created here, right? Using the class name. Okay, so in this method, so another object it got created here. Okay, so okay, so the copy of the object gets created. Okay, and any changes here, okay, uh, in the copied object, it does not affect the original object, right? In pass by value method. But if you want to directly make changes to the original object, okay, then we can use the pass by reference method. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn today. So just remember that when we pass an object as an argument, okay, within the member functions of a class, uh, why is the necessity to pass object as argument? Okay, see, it's actually useful when we want to initialize all the data members, initialize all the data members, okay, of an object, in this case this one, okay, with another object. So suppose like emb, right? So xemb is one object, emb is another object. So when we want to initialize, that means make available all the data members of an object to another object. Okay, so we can pass object and assign the values. We can pass the object and assign the values of the object, okay, to another object, like that. Okay, so this is mostly needed when for large programs or complex programs. Okay, that means why is it necessary? See, a class can have many objects. Okay, within a program there can be many classes. Okay, a class can have many objects. That those objects uh, uh, can be made available to share the same data members, okay, or through the member functions. Okay, so it may be that in a large program, okay, many objects which shares the same characteristics of the class, okay, may want to access, right? So in such case, okay, this pass by value or pass by reference method is actually very much useful. Okay, this shortens the program and then the complexity of the program. Okay, so that's why we are learning this pass by value and pass by reference method. Okay, in this program is very means like this, since this is short program. Okay, so next we have the call by reference. Okay, now in call by pass by reference or call by reference, okay, it enables us to pass the parameters. Okay, it enables us to pass the parameters to functions by reference. Okay, so the arguments in the call function, okay, the arguments in the call function, that is in the function definition section, okay, it becomes the alias name for the actual argument that is in the calling function, okay, which is in the main function part, right? So it is actually working on the original data. Okay, now if you remember in your class 11 textbook, right, where we learn about pass by reference, right? So the address of the variable in the calling function was passed to the variable in the call function, right? Similarly like that. Okay, now in this case in this case, okay, this is a very short program, okay. It's not that much complex, okay. Here is a very simple pass by reference program, okay. Here what we do is that we make use of a reference variable, okay, a reference variable called as emb, okay. So this is created from the existing object, that is that xemb, okay. So if you see this program, uh yes, where is that? The following example is used to demonstrate pass by reference method of a class declaration, okay. So here we have the data members which is declared as public, okay. So objects, any objects can access, any objects, non-member functions can access these data members, okay. Now we have here the function declaration, okay. So this is your function prototype, okay. The return type is void, the function name, okay. The parameter type, the parameter names, okay. So separated by commas, okay. So this will be used as a function prototype, okay. So based on that, now if we come back to the main function here, oh yes, here you can see that float HRA and DA are declared. Two variables are declared here which acts as a local variable. Since these two variables, and yes, double gross, these three variables are used within this main function body, so that's why it has been declared as a local variable, okay. Now in here we are creating an object, we're declaring an object xemb of type employee, okay. So now using the class name employee, an object is created, okay. Now in the next line, okay, using the member function input data, okay, we are assigning the values 100 Miss Sujata PhD computer, okay, these values, okay, of the object, okay. So the object is assigning these values using through the member function. So this is your calling function, okay. So passes function object passes values to the input data class function, okay. So the object is passing these values using these member functions, okay. So what happens is this value gets passed, uh, so this calling function invokes this call function and it activates this function body, okay. So the value gets passed to here, right. So code receives the value 100, okay, since it is integer, right, okay. And similarly the rest of the values are also assigned to the other parameters, okay. So as per the number of values, that many variables are also declared, okay. So here this acts like a reference also, okay. Now what happen is after that, okay, that value gets the variable which stores the value code, okay, transfers the value, assigns the value to the employee code which belongs to the class data members, okay. So now we are assigning the values to the data members because of the member functions, okay. Now after that we have seen this routine in all the programs, okay, till now. So I think you must be familiar with this concept right now. Now if we come back to the next line, okay, now here again we see something new, okay, which is employee ampersand emp equals to xemp passing by reference value at main, okay. So in the main function we are passing reference, okay. So here like I said, okay, this ampersand emb is a reference variable, okay. So this is created from the existing object, that is xemp, okay. Now what this reference variable does, okay, now a reference variable, okay, so it provides an alternate name, an alias, okay, for an object or a variable, in this case this xemp, okay. So what happened is that, okay, a reference variable must be initialized from the start. So here what we're doing is that we're initializing in the sense like from where to which variable it is assigned. Okay, so the reference variable must be initialized at the time of the declaration itself. So what you are actually doing is that, okay, since this employee, this is the class name, okay, which is user defined data type. Okay, so this is this data type and this is the variable name, or in this case the object, right? Okay, so you are declaring the object at the same time you are assigning the value, okay, which is same like, okay, int emb is equal to 10, like that. Okay, so you are assigning the value, right? But in this case what you're doing is that because of this ampersand, right, this this emb object acts as a reference for this object. Okay, so what you are doing is that what is actually passed by reference, you are passing the address of the variable from the calling function to the call function, right? In this case, see, while it is been this variable is being declared and initialized, okay, so what you're doing is that in this method, in the main function itself, okay, when a reference variable is used, you have to assign it to the variable for which it is duplicated. Okay, so here what you're doing is that the address of this object is passed on to this emb object. Okay, so the need of reference variable is that, okay, any of these variables or any of these object can be used interchangeably. Okay, so it can be used interchangeably. So what happened is, now if you see the next line, here, unlike the previous program, okay, a separate function body has been declared here, right? If you want to execute the formula of DA, a separate function body has been executed here for HRA, for gross, like that, right? But in this program you see that the whole formula logic is executed in the main function body itself, right? So that's why the variables are declared here, and there is no need for calling function, like in this case, emb.calculate DA. Okay, so like I said, a very simple program. So what happened is, okay, when we come to this line statement, DA is equal to 1.2 into emp.salary. Now since emb is used as a reference for xemb, since an xemb object has the value 100 Miss Sujata PhD computer, okay, 12,500, that value belongs, that value data belongs to the object xemb. And since emb object is used as reference, okay, so the and since the address of this object is passed on to this emb, so this emb object, using dot operator, it can directly access the employee salary, or it can directly access the yes, employee salary. Okay, so that's why here, unlike in the previous program where we wrote like xemb dot employee code, right? So but here you can see that using this ampersand, the emb is directly able to access the employee salary, right? But in this, in here you can see that the emb object was used to pass this object as an argument, okay, and it could not directly access the data members, okay, because it was not passed, it was not declared as a reference, right? Okay, but in here there is the difference. Okay, so this object emb could directly access the data members of the uh, xemb object. Okay, so that's why we get this format. Okay, so based on that, also the cout statement is displayed for that. Okay, so here we get the employee code directly using that emb.emb code. Okay, so the rest is all same. Okay, so when we come to the, okay, now if we go through this paragraph, okay, in the same way, the input data member function receives the private data members through the xemb object, and the address of xemb object is referenced to emb object. Okay, so the address of xemb object gets referenced by emb object, where all the public data members, yeah, as I said, the data members are made public, are extracted at main function. Okay, so now all the data members of xemb gets accessed by this emb object. Okay, so through emb object. Thus, reference method retrieves the data members in main function through the emb object. The symbol ampersand is used as reference of xemb into emb by the statement. Okay, so we have seen this. Okay, so we finish the programming part of classes and object. Okay, I hope that you have understood. If not, you can ask. Okay, so I will also be giving you some assignments regarding these chapters. Okay, so as we finish one chapter after the other, I'll be giving you assignments. You can also make some changes in the program code, so it will be a challenge for you, but that way you will learn. So I'll make some slight changes in the programs, and then you can try it on your own. Okay, so that way you will learn much faster. And yes, from tomorrow onwards, I'll be explaining from some of the soft programs also. Okay, so that way you get much more better understanding. Okay, so that will be for today.